Hello and welcome to episode 18 of the FreeGN podcast. I am of course your host Danny and I'm joined by my two lovely jubbly co-hosts, Chris
Hello.
and Gary.
Greetings to all.
Hi Gary. Hello.
I'm not keeping that voice up.
Hello Gary.
Danny,
Here
stop
we
pissing
have
on your foot.
Danny already been in Mora.
No, Chris. What games have you played this week?
Well, I've been continuing the Xenoblade Chronicles story.
Nice.
The Monado is actually awkward.
Because there are multiple
gives-
layers to it, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, but in combat, you get, I wouldn't say cutscene, but it's basically a slide of what can happen. This attack to this player or character. And you actually have a chance to counter it.
I think I know what that's to do. That's to basically give you access to Shulk's ability to see the future.
It is his ability to see the future. It's just
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a kind of cool way to do it. Awkward as it might be, it is kind of cool.
yeah, it's just pops up. Now you have a timer counting down to when it's going to attack. It is nice, but it is just suddenly you're no longer in fighting. You have to watch this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a big fan of that.
Yeah, it does sound like it takes away from
The
any
flow of the
fast
fight.
action.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, carry on.
It also kicks in with field items pickups because suddenly you get a glimpse into the future of, oh, this can be used for this quest, even though
It's
you
kinda
don't know them or even been to that area yet.
Yeah, but then that can kind of leave a mark in your mind that when you get into that situation, you're like, oh, this will be useful. Or, oh, I remember that.
I think it was, oh, I believe we've collected 3 of the such and such item that such and such will need, but I've only picked up 1, so it's letting me know pick up 2 more for this person.
I mean, it's
Well,
kind of helpful.
Yeah.
It is, but it's a bit distracting as well,
Yeah.
and I don't think there's actually a record of it. If there is, I haven't figured out where. But I have played a bit more of Spore Creatures.
Nice.
It is just a simple thing to play, a mind distraction.
I've also started a game which is just a mind distraction, but I'll get on to that.
Ooh. Here's the thing. This isn't been recorded a week from last, but I did play some Monster Hunter Generations.
Chris, don't. Okay, everybody listening, don't look at the person behind the curtain. It's definitely been a week. Definitely, right, guys?
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely been a week.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Damn it.
the episode
I'm
before
going
this
to
came
try
out
and
last
set
week,
up
wasn't it?
Monster Hunter Generations next week as well, then.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
But sadly, no one joined me for that.
I mean, Chris, I looked at it, but I don't have any way of joining you. I don't have.
Yeah, it's not mandatory. It's just
Well,
let me know.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
That's
So what I'm really getting out of this, what I'm really
forcing
getting out of
myself not to use the insect glaive. I've been using the longsword.
Oh, I hadn't even thought
Kind
about
of
that.
learning some of its flaws, since it mostly attacks directly in front of it
Oh,
in Generations.
I see. I like sweeping attacks.
Yeah. Although I might try and use another weapon for a little while, see how that feels. But I cannot use the insect glaive.
Yeah, that's a goal you've put for yourself.
Mm.
I see.
I have got 3 calicos, and each one is named after us.
Wait, you can have more than one?
Yeah,
Do you think I can do that in Monster Hunter World?
I want to say yes, but I have no idea where to go for that.
Actually, Chris, like you guys know, I've been really into D&D lately. and I'm
Yep.
actually watching a campaign right now that is inspired by Monster Hunter. So I think it's fun.
It was right. You know what Ark Survival Evolved is?
Ugh, yes, I know. Ugh.
I don't remember.
Why has Capcom not contacted them?
Because the game is shit and the people who made the game are shit. And I would rather feed my dick into a goddamn blender mixed with salt
Danny,
and bile than play that piece of shit game.
Danny.
Yes?
Now, what if you took all of the core components of Monster Hunter and laid it into a game similar to Ark Survival Evolved?
Then it'd be a buggy piece of shit that is worse than actual Monster Hunter. At that point, you can just play Monster Hunter.
The original.
If they've done it, if they've done it correctly, it could be one hell of a masterpiece.
Well, if they did that, they'd have to start the game from scratch, because
Yeah,
I can't even remember the studio behind Ark. But okay, did you guys hear about the pirate sequel to Ark? Did any of you?
yeah, that one flopped really badly, didn't it?
Chris, you gotta understand that game was just a reskin of Ark, literally to the point that when you started the game, it had the same title screen. If you could press some button combination on your controller and then scroll down from the pirate title screen down to the Ark title screen in the game, the supposedly completely different game. I was doing the finger thing, air quotes, and
Yeah,
people, and when people tried to play that game, it was just so buggy. All the mechanics weren't thought through. That game was nothing more than a cash grab, and
yeah.
I will never trust the studio behind Ark ever again.
Wasn't it something like Mad Dog or
I don't know.
no?
And honestly, I don't need to know. They don't. They don't deserve the 2 or 3 brain cells it would take me to remember their name. They don't deserve that. And I'm usually
It was developed by
Yeah.
Studio Wildcard.
yeah. I'm gonna forget that in like 10 minutes, which is fine. God damn it.
I'll
I'll hold you to it.
feel
So
like there's something else I might have played, but that won't just.
I'm sorry.
Chris,
If I
between
remember, I might chip in with it during or after one of these.
Okay, Gary, do you want to
Oh.
go first or should I?
I was just going to ask, Chris, didn't you come round between our last recording session and this one?
Xenoverse 2.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure you would have played a bit of that.
Yeah, I did.
There we go.
I knew I was forgetting something, but I couldn't place it.
That's actually why I wanted to chime that in.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, because I think that was the day before I tried them on the Center Generations.
I think it either was the exact day or the day before. I think you're right.
Yeah. Well, who's going next?
Gary, do you want to or should I?
Yeah, I might as well.
Okay, no.
As previously just established, I have played some more Xenoverse 2. I've been helping out Peter, my friend, with getting some skills and items he doesn't have yet. So that's been nice. I remember helping him get some of the DLC skills he's got access to. I remember getting royally yelled at last night, actually, just because I was playing the game at like 3 a.m. It's not my fault I'm good at it.
Wait, okay, Gary, when you play a game, do you have the volume from the television or into a headset?
Television.
Danny, first off, yes, but also, I was on my Switch. I was downstairs.
Oh,
And I keep the volume on the Switch pretty quiet.
I see. Well, the thing is, I remember back when we played Halo Reach in the old days, I would have the volume on the television, and at the middle of the night, my parents would sometimes open the door and be like, "What the hell are you doing? Go to bed! Go to fucking bed!" But ever since I started playing on PC and all my sound comes out of my headset, so my room is completely silent with the exception of when I speak. That doesn't happen anymore. So, but I also don't have school in the morning. So, yeah.
I the thing is, that happened last night. this specific episode being recorded on a Saturday like it is, instead of our regular Tuesdays,
Sure.
Basically, I kind of got yelled at because it's night, I guess. People have to be up in the morning on a Saturday for some reason. What, to watch Saturday morning cartoons?
Well, some people have work in the weekends. I don't know if your parents do, but my mother sometimes does.
My parents do not.
But then again, my mother also sometimes have days off in the middle of the week, so...
Anyway, I've played a tiny bit more of Dragon Ball Legends. Nothing really fancy, just powering up a few characters. Nothing really special there.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna
Did a nice
ask...
little...
Oh, sorry. I thought you had stopped
No,
speaking.
go on. Ask your question.
I was just gonna ask, could you hear all the singing in the background?
Ever so slightly.
Okay, the thing is, I'm doing this thing where when I'm not speaking, I'm muting myself. So, on the recording, that shouldn't be very audible, but you guys can probably hear it.
I can hear it when you're speaking.
Okay, but that doesn't really help.
Only when...
What, the TV?
Yeah.
I can hear it every now and again, but not that often.
Okay, well, that's good.
Anyway, aside from that brief... I think it was only one day I ended up spending on Dragon Ball Legends. The sacrilege coming from me, I know. I've been keeping up with Pokemon Go, caught a bunch of new Pokemon. Actually, no, not really a bunch of new Pokemon. There was a special task that was giving out Mega Energy for Venusaur, and I ended up having to catch over 40 grass types for literally no reason. But I did that before the thingy finished, and I just managed to get a trade in to give Lewis a Pokemon he needed before they shortened the trade range for... They shortened it at, I think it was like 5 this afternoon, which is a little over 3.5 hours ago.
Huh.
Yeah, so I helped Lewis get a Pokemon he needed. And outside of playing Pokemon Black to catch up with Adam and his Pokemon White, I can't say I've really done much. I did catch a legendary Pokemon with just a single Pokeball earlier. That was kind of fun.
Which type of Pokeball?
Regular.
Oh, okay, that is impressive.
Shut up, Chris. You're not taking this away from me.
Okay, Chris, what did you do that's so much cooler?
Well, in Pokemon, there's now and again one called a roaming.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, you have to chase it down and battle it. But it doesn't always stay there long enough for you to capture it, and it flees into a different area where you have to chase it down again.
Where you got to repeat the process.
Basically, I found it, and because I knew it was basically going to run near enough straight away, I just threw a Pokeball, full health, everything, and it just captured one go.
I hope you still have that mess for it, because it evidently likes you.
I'm not sure, but that has been one of the more entertaining things I've done. Yet, there is another incident that I keep on rubbing in Gary's face.
Go on.
Mystery Dungeon.
I do not know what that is. Well, I think I know what a dungeon is in Pokemon, but...
The Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, the original two.
Oh,
Red
okay.
and blue.
That is not
Red
what I
and blue,
thought.
red.
I thought of a cave, so...
Well, basically, you're only meant to be able to capture legendaries, or befriend legendaries once.
I see.
And then there's me who can befriend the legendary or mythical Pokemon Mew multiple times.
I'll basically explain how that works as well. See,
This becomes a extra apparent annoyance to Gary since he hasn't managed to get it once when I was getting it multiple times.
the thing is, like anytime he comes across it, like it instantly just says, "Yo, can I join your team?" That's the part that rubs salt into the wound there. But what I was going to say is, effectively, the way that little circumstance of Chris's works is he initially recruited Mew on Red Rescue Team. That's for the Game Boy Advance. That fits into the Game Boy slot of a DS, an original DS or a original DS Lite. Now, he was playing through Blue Rescue Team, which is the DS game, because those two are divided between both of those systems. They're the only games in the entire franchise that are effectively the same, but split across 2 different. So Chris recruited Mew on Red, and there's a feature where you can read the data from Red and interact with it on Blue. And effectively, your current team can be used as a boss for a little training dungeon. And sure enough, that's basically how Chris kept recruiting Mew again and again, because he had that as effectively the boss of that dungeon, and for whatever reason, you can recruit them again and again from it.
Yeah, here's the thing. Gary also has Blue, so he could take my game cartridge and do the same, but it never seemed to accept him.
Well, yeah, there's that, but there's also the fact that I wanted to complete everything on my Red Rescue team, which I couldn't for that reason. Anytime I ran into Mew, it just wouldn't come to me. The one time I did find it, it didn't want to join.
Maybe you're just not Mew's type, Gary.
You're right, I'm not a psychic type. On that, I'm an electric type, thank you very much.
Oh, you're like Yellow Rat, which isn't a rat, but I can never remember what it actually is based on.
It's supposed to be a mouse.
Is it just a mouse?
But that's... yeah, it's just considered a mouse.
Huh. Oh well.
But you're right, that's actually exactly the Pokemon I am on that. Anyway, beyond what I was originally getting back to before that huge side tangent, thanks, Chris. It's fine when you do it, isn't it?
Well, I'm not going to interrupt myself, am I?
I mean, I'm not going to interrupt you.
I just interrupted myself anyway to go off on a tangent on Chris, but... okay, so when I caught that legendary Pokemon, the thing
Chocolate
is...
cake.
Right?
So I made chocolate... No, sorry, Gary. I just had to interrupt you. Go on, Gary. Please do go on.
Comment. Leave a comment if you want Danny to make more chocolate cake.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what I was going to say... before you go to face this legendary Pokemon I went and caught, you're told a story about it. How it doesn't trust humans because a war they had caused a fire that endangered lots of rather scared and helpless Pokemon. So it and its compatriots stopped trusting humans. So what's really cool is you get told, if you go to meet it, it will attack. So I went to meet it, and it attacked. And I expected to be in for a rather long battle of attrition just trying to catch it. But no, just first time I throw a Pokeball, instantly caught it. So satisfying to be trusted by something that's like, hey, I hate your kind.
Okay. That is a funny story. But for me to be the one who knows exactly how long we've been going, we need to continue with the games we've played this week, because we're almost at the halfway mark, and we're not even done with the games we've played this week.
That's why I'm giving you the floor. Begin.
Okay. But Gary, did you say about the games you played this week?
Yeah, I did. I just finished.
Okay. The games I've played this week is Resident Evil 2 HD Remake. I really, really like this game because my favorite Resident Evil game is, of course, Resident Evil 4. And in that game, you got different costumes as you do in all the Resident Evil games. And
yep,
my favorite costume in that is Leon's Raccoon City Police Department gear, which is the gear that he had from Resident Evil 2. And that's just your main costume in this game. And it rubs me the right way. It just makes...
oh my.
I know. Leon Kennedy is rubbing me the right way. Don't tell Ada. But yeah, I just really like it. And I've always preferred the third person view over the fixed camera angles. I'm fine with the fixed camera angles, but I do enjoy the third person view more. Even more than
the explore a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of the first person view, but it's fine. I'd rather have a first person view Resident Evil game that keeps true with all the other game mechanics than a third person that basically I'd rather have Resident Evil 7 than Resident Evil 6. Say it like that.
Yeah.
But Resident Evil 2 HD Remake, I really like it. I'm kind of sad that I bought these. Well, okay, I bought a bunch of Capcom games like Monster Hunter World and Mega Man and all that stuff. and then a couple of days later, the Capcom franchise-based sale started, where all of them were 60 to 80% off after I'd already bought them. So that made me kind of sad, which is why I then proceeded to buy Resident Evil 2 HD Remake and Resident Evil 3 HD Remake with the sale. Because I was like, I gotta save somebody out of this, and I know I want to buy these games eventually. So, but
Good choice.
yeah. So, but yeah, I played that. I'm really liking it. I'm almost at the end, if I remember Resident Evil 2 correctly. And I will say I haven't played that game since I was a kid. Unlike with HD Remake, which I played like a couple of years back, and Resident Evil 1, which I had played as a kid. But I haven't played any other variant of Resident Evil 2 since then. And I remember very little of it. But I'm pretty sure there are certain differences in this version, but there are also some similarities. But I'd have to play Resident Evil 2, the original, which I also want to do at some point. What else have I played? I've played MCC, obviously. I gotten my challenges. I started playing Halo 4, which I never beat on the MCC because I had recently played it with Chris, so I didn't really feel like I needed to. But now there's challenges like defeat this amount of Protheans, or use Prothean weapons, and complete Spartan Ups or Halo 4 missions and stuff like that. So I've been doing a bit of that, and
you know, if I could have, I would have helped you guys with Halo 4.
Yeah, I know. And eventually, when everybody gets MCC on the PC in like 5 to 10 years, when we all have it, I think we'll all be playing.
When the channel is much larger.
Yeah, if the channel gets larger. I'm still like, I'm mostly doing the channel stuff for fun. And Gary, I still don't expect
it's a hobby.
Yeah, it's a hobby. It's nice to have like something to do, you know, like have some sort of responsibility. Being like, oh, this has to be out here. Gotta edit this and that. But that's a completely different thing. Once we all have it, I'm sure we'll play all the campaigns through together, and it's going to be a great time.
I don't think Halo 1 and I think Halo 2 might not allow it. Halo 2 might be based on anniversary, but I'm fairly sure Halo 1 just flat out doesn't.
Well, we can do mods for that. I know there are mods that allow for higher amounts of co-op. But yeah, I played that, and I actually saw a mod. Did any of you guys ever play Call of Duty Zombies?
No, but I know of it.
Okay. Somebody recreated COD Zombies in Halo 3, and it's the Flood instead of zombies.
Interesting idea.
Yeah, so I thought we could try that out in a couple of years when we all can play it. But yeah, then the last game I played, which is the game that I was going to mention, that is like my don't have to think, just play the game, is Fallout New Vegas. That's right, Chris. I've started a Bethesda game. Well, not. I don't think did Bethesda make New Vegas? I don't think they did.
Yeah, I think they do, because I want to say it's the same formula that they might have used for Skyrim.
Maybe.
Open world adventure. Pick up items.
It is, but I was more thinking of like, it's because, you know, Oblivion used to be the ones who made them, and then Bethesda bought them out. I just don't remember which game it was. That doesn't matter, actually.
What time the company switched?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I just don't remember.
I didn't actually know that bit of information.
Oh. Well, I'm pretty sure that Oblivion, obviously, and Morrowind was made by Oblivion, and after that, it was made by Bethesda, but I can't remember what year Fallout New Vegas came out in. But it doesn't matter. I can't remember. I think it might have been Bethesda, but I'm not quite sure. It's a good game so far. I haven't gotten very far, but so far I like what I see. But it's also been acclaimed as one of the best games in all of the franchises, and the best game in the Fallout series, or best modern first-person game. I can't speak for Fallout 1 or 2, which was not first-person.
Okay, here's the thing. Next up, we would normally do Dream Futures.
Yeah.
But since you've been talking about Fallout and Bethesda,
yeah,
I want to jump straight into the topic of game choices.
Okay.
Do you mind?
Well, Okay, what about? But then what about Dream Futures? So just scrapping that?
Uh,
Sorry, technical difficulty.
Why is the technical difficulties?
I had some.
it's just
Anyway.
oh well. I'll ask. Does anyone have any pre-planned dream futures?
I have, yeah, I do.
No, I don't. I don't.
I currently don't, but might think of one at the end.
I see. Well, what if I just go through my Dream Futures real quick then?
No, go for it.
Okay.
Okay, well, I've got 2 Dream Futures. One of them
Damn it.
is pretty simple. I'm not gonna let this go, Chris. I like Dream Futures. Okay, one of them is pretty simple. Us playing the Isle. The Isle being an open world dinosaur game where you play as dinosaurs. That said, it's not done yet, and a lot of the development team has been taken over because they spent 5 years doing nothing. So the people who own it was like, you know what, fuck these guys, let's get some new people in. So they're making they've made a new beta branch where it's seemingly much better than what it has been the last 5 years, but I'm not buying it until at least there's much more content in it, and I would like us to play
Well,
that. And that's it. That's all about the Isle. And then one quick one is I'm working on a D&D campaign that I want to ask people on the Discord within the game lobby if anybody wants to play in that.
interesting.
Yeah, and that's really it. That is my Dream Futures. That took me like 1 minute and 30 seconds to do. So, but now I think we should go into the topic because we're slightly over the halfway mark. So, Chris, you wanted to jump into it from Bethesda games.
Right. I was going to say, in that, well, go with the more common one I've played, Skyrim.
Yes.
You can do certain things that affect the game, but ultimately it has no real impact.
Yeah. It doesn't really
It's
matter
like,
if you choose Stormcloaks or the Empire.
well, here's one of the things you can choose to do, but many people don't tend to do it. The mission to start the Dark Brotherhood storyline, you're taken to the abandoned shack and you're greeted by a Dark Brotherhood member and 3 potential targets, and you have to choose one to kill. Did you know you can actually attack the Dark Brotherhood member and escape?
I did not know that.
And then it just skips past majority of the Dark Brotherhood quest
No.
where you betray them in the end.
I see.
That sounds like it stops you from getting a lot of rewards, though.
It can, but it does bring an end to a certain part of the story. But that's one what has a big impact on that section.
Yeah.
But other parts of the game are unaffected by that. So it does affect, but it doesn't in a grand scheme of things. It's not like when you're forced to accept an option in a game. Pretty sure Gary might remember this, but on the Wii U, there was a Xenoblade game.
It's basically on the Wii U. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I thought you were talking about on the Wii, but yeah, on the Wii U. Carry on, Chris.
Chronicles Cross?
Yeah. People often read it as X, but they have to remember it is a Japanese game, and they tend to read that as Cross.
Yeah. It's just when you're forced into a dialogue option, that is a more recent one I can remember, where you try to refuse to accept something and they just keep forcing it on you.
That happens like all the time in Pokemon.
But it's interesting to see when games give you 2 options, but the dialogue after is always the same.
Yeah.
Because they try to make the 2 options as opposing as possible.
But it doesn't really matter.
Dialogue afterwards seems to fit either. What's quite a unique challenge to do.
There is something that I want to point out for why I think a lot of games do that. And I actually got this from when I originally played through Fire Emblem Awakening. Is you making those decisions, even though they change absolutely nothing, I reckon that that's to personally test your character. Because I actually found it rather... what's the word I'm looking for?
Sexy?
No.
Troubling?
I found it more interesting that it let me find out more about the way I would react in those situations.
Mm.
Because I don't know. Maybe it was just the general attachment I had before the first voice in that.
Mm.
But the further I went through the game, the more attached to the characters I became, and when those characters are the ones asking you to make tough decisions, I find it interesting that they went that way, because it's really interesting. Just I'm looping around now. I'm just babbling.
Well, I mean,
But
that made me think of something else with choices, but if you have a finishing thought on that, Gary, please do go ahead.
I think the real thing about it ultimately is it's a test of your character, and where that isn't always worth looking at independently. If you look at the mass results of, say, a poll that asks, what did you choose in this situation? You can find out how many people agree or disagree on the same topic. And I think that in itself is kind of fascinating.
Okay, but the thing is,
I-
but in the same vein, that made me think of something in Skyrim, which is the Stormcloaks or Empire storyline. Because in reality, it doesn't really make a difference for the main story, which is you are Dragonborn, find the masks, defeat the dragon. But it can like tell something about the person playing, because the Stormcloaks are more like, to hell with the Empire, they want to be free, but they also have some, xenophobic um, tendencies.
Characteristics.
Yeah, while the Empire is less about individual freedom, and they also like ban the belief of a god. So it's like not you don't have religious freedom, but it is more inclusive for all races. So it's like there's not a good side or a bad side, but it's just which side do you.
It's which side you see more merit in.
Yeah, because I remember when I was a kid, I chose Stormcloaks mostly because I did not understand the racial stuff. I didn't really think of it or understand that that was a thing. I was just like, yeah, Empire bad. I've seen Star Wars.
Yeah.
But as an adult, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna choose the Empire. And I did, and I became a goddamn good Imperial officer. And I killed your Ulrich myself. So yeah. So even though it doesn't have like any difference within the main story itself, it does say a bit more as a person. Even though when I was a kid, it wasn't more like I hate elves or whatever. It was more like I wasn't old enough to actually understand the deep ideological
exactly.
differences.
Exactly. That's why I do feel that pointless choices in games have a place.
Yeah, so they're not completely pointless, but they are like for the in some respect.
In some aspects, they're kind of there for people that like role playing while playing the game. But at the
Here's
same
the thing.
time, go on, Chris.
I watched someone play a Telltale game on Twitch.
Oh yeah, The Walking
But
Dead.
you know what they're like. They follow a certain story. I believe it was the Batman one.
Oh,
And I'm pretty sure they didn't like the ship of Batman and Catwoman in that because they were too different. So any options they had, they tried to be negative between them.
yeah.
But because it's a set story, it still had a certain moment that would never have happened if they were in full control.
But that's the thing about
And
Telltale games. So, oh wait, no, go on. Please finish.
it just it did give some choices, but it wasn't able to prevent a story point from happening, and that is what I'd consider pointless.
And that's the thing about Telltale games. They give the illusion of your choices actually changing things. And I'm pretty sure that the first season of The Walking Dead, there were like certain difference. It was more. There was more ability to change the story based on your choices. But as that series went on, it became less and less as they wanted like a conclusion to the story itself, and people they catched on to that. So yeah, Telltale they didn't do too good in the end. They don't exist anymore, so I pretty sure they didn't do too good to the end.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, Danny, while it's in my mind, didn't you want to tie this into our gameplay videos as well?
I did, because as some of you might know, we play basically the way we play games on the channel is I find a game that has choices in it that can
Influence.
yeah, affect and influence are the two words I put together to make infect the gameplay, because I'm playing it myself and then I'm taking like inputs from Chris and Gary to so that you two also have like some influence over the game. So a game with choices is pretty important for our format, because
Yeah.
we only have one working gaming PC, which is mine.
And
That-
that's all the way in Denmark, so we can't even do something like swap between
Oh no!
people playing.
I mean, even if you guys had like basic PCs, we could probably get some sort of parsec or something like that. But Gary is recording on his phone, and Chris is on a tablet right now, so that's not really possible.
Yeah.
That's why we choose things like FTL, Despotism, Frostpunk, even though
Carrion.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you've still got like some of the Frostpunk footage in the back burner. It's just you really are struggling to find the motivation for it.
The thing is, we played that game 5 hours in a row, like 5 hours nonstop, and in the end, we were all so tired that we barely speak. And I've had to edit if I had to edit that, I could either choose to leave in a lot of dead air or skip through important gameplay moments. So I'm like, ugh, it's so annoying. In reality, we've learned from that, where we don't record more than an hour, maximum an hour and 40 to 2 hours, and then we have to stop so that we don't all like run out of energy.
Burn out.
Yeah. So we've learned from that, but I haven't deleted the Frostpunk footage. So one day, if we ever become big, and people are like, hey, what happened to the end of Frostpunk? We never saw what happened to the end of Frostpunk. I might like stipulate that there won't be a lot of talking, but I could release it. So that's why I'm saving it, but I'm not editing it actively. Right now I'm editing. I'm almost done with all the Sonic, and I haven't gotten too much into FTL. I've done quite a bit of our session with Lewis, but I haven't even started me and Gary's duo session.
Yes.
And I haven't even done any of the thumbnails for FTL, other than the first one, which is good.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me earlier, just before we started. You need to
I need
actually do part 2 before you upload it today.
Yeah, and I also need the bathroom, which means we're rapidly running out of time. But we had to record this, so like I told Gary, you know what? I usually upload pretty late, which is also something to do with my lack of internet, and usually I try to start the upload like 2 hours early, but because it says it usually takes 2 hours and 40 minutes to upload a 20-minute video, and the thing is, my brother and my parents, they also all use our internet, which decreases the amount of time, or increases the amount of time it takes to upload. So it can take up to 4 or maybe even 5 hours to upload something, and keeping track of that is just so difficult. So sometimes the upload is very late. But that's nothing to do with choices. That's a rambling.
I really want 2 cups, one filled with water and one empty, and just pour the water into the other.
Wait, why?
Danny needs the toilet. Running water noises.
That's not gonna.
Chris, you're as insightful as bacon.
That is.
Didn't you know bacon's a holy food?
Okay, let's not get onto holy foods. Where were we? We were talking about. Oh yeah, I was talking about how we choose games with choices.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. I had one quick thing I like to say, or like to inquire about, where certain things change in games based on what you do, but it's not intuitive, if you know what I mean. I'll give an example. In Resident Evil, to get the shotgun, there are two things you can do. Either you can go to where the shotgun is before you happen to meet Barry, which happens after a certain amount of time, or you can find the broken shotgun and replace it with it, or else you turn into a Jill sandwich. And I was thinking about, because that is a choice you have to make, but it's not a choice you actively know you have to make. But if you understand that this will happen, then you can make that choice. Other than that, it's just like based on your gameplay. And I was wondering if any of you could think of anything about that, or if you had any,
something similar.
Yeah.
I think I might, but it's been ages since I last played it. Fable 2. As a starting a new game, you start out as the child character, and you do these menial tasks around the city. And if I remember correctly, after the event occurs, and you're given control of your character as an adult, if you return to the city, it will either be in a better condition or a worse condition from when you were a kid, depending on your choices.
As I recall, that's because of how that's basically because of how obviously your choices impact the world around you. If you choose to let a criminal go, then they could obviously cause havoc later on, and so on. But then if you obviously turn them in, they go to they get arrested, get taken off the street, and so on.
Yeah.
So that influences how the world around you is, because obviously criminals running havoc are gonna cause people to have more miserable lives in general and ruin the area around them.
Yeah. But we don't have much time left, so if you have any last thoughts on in-game choices that you wanted to air within the next 9 minutes, please do so. Or actually less, because we also have words of wisdom.
Well, I don't have any dream future currently, but I might be able to input some words of wisdom.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why, if we don't have anything more to talk about when it comes to the topic, there's no reason for us just to try to force more in. If we don't have anything more to say, we've said what we want, and then we can go to the words of wisdom. So should we just do that now?
I think we should, yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't have a dream future.
Okay, well in that case, who wants to start with their words of wisdom? Ooh, mystical, spooky. Ooh. Ooh.
Whoa. I'm trying to think of a way to word this properly. If a choice is based on a flip of a coin, beware of the edge.
I see what you did there. There's always that narrow chance that things could go straight down the middle instead of one side or the other.
There will always be a wild card somewhere.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thanks, I just came up with it.
Gary, do you have any words of wisdom?
I have a question. Are there any arguments against making anarchy A-okay?
Anarchy? I mean, I don't think society is perfect, but I mean, I think it's better than no society. Why are we going political? I wasn't expecting this.
I didn't go political. I asked about anarchy.
Being an anarchist is a political opinion, or rather the want for getting rid of society, or rather resetting society to a place where there is no.
Okay, I think I know what Gary's coming from.
Good, because I have no idea.
We might need to make a unsavory choice every now and again in a lifetime, but it might be for the greater good.
Actually, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm just on the InspiroBot webpage, just basically generating random images.
Damn it, Gary! I forgot you were going to do that. I forgot. You even told me that you were going to do that as words of wisdom, but I forgot.
Damn it.
I literally thought you were like, anarchy, maybe? I was like, Gary, I'm not sure if we should promote this on the podcast.
I mean, if you want to take something wise out of it, take what Chris said about it.
I mean, yeah, everybody has to make unsavory choices once in a while, but anarchy? Yeesh.
Yes, anarchy.
Okay, I guess you heard it here first. We're now the official podcast of Antifa. Oh wait, no, that's just
Any
anti-fascism.
words of wisdom, Danny?
Fuck me.
No,
thanks.
no. You said it yourself. You need to get to editing the thumbnail for episode 2 of FTL.
Okay, fine. My words of wisdom is if none of your friends want to fuck you, you can always just go fuck yourself. That's my
Danny,
word.
what did I literally just say? Come on.
Gary, sometimes you gotta prioritize things. And fucking yourself is very high on my list. Sometimes
You know what? Fuck it. I trust you.
Okay, good.
Because I've just learned what we doubt, we trust.
God damn it, is that another AI fucking thing?
Yes, it is, but
God-
it kind of fits.
God damn. Okay,
I'm
but
sorry. What you just said, Gary, was you trust Danny to go fuck himself.
okay. And on that note, thanks for listening. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, join the Twitter. Did I forget anything?
Leave comments about some of our silly shit.
Yeah, and please, people who listen to this, just go fuck yourselves. Just do it. Not in like I hate you kind of way, but in like yeah, sometimes you just gotta go fuck yourself. On that note, goodbye, everybody. Chris, say goodbye.
Well.
Goodbye.
Good.